Hey guys, Matt Wilson again. This is my second video of the day. I did The Cure earlier. That was easy. I've been putting off today's show for a long time. This is the Grateful Dead. You can see Anthem of the Sun on my shirt. Guys, if you know me, you know this. If not, I'll tell you, I am nothing if not a Deadhead. I'm not saying that the Grateful Dead are my favorite group ever. They're not. But it's just that when you're into the Dead, there's so much stuff to collect. Especially if you're a CD guy like I am. Every year there's a big box set of, outlining a tour or something like that, or a location where they toured multiple years. There's all the normal albums on CD. There's all the... Okay, a little caveat here. I pulled out everything I could think of, but I'm not going to show you Dick's picks and I'm not going to show you Dave's picks. I have all the Dick's picks. I do not have all the Dave's picks. I had to draw the line. So you're going to see, this is going to be messy. So let's just start because this might be another hour show. Okay, to start with their normal discography, I recommend these two Rhino box sets. The Golden Road from 65 to 73 and Beyond Description from 73 to 89. This gives you, in the case of the Golden Road, it gives you everything that they released during that time. This does not, but we'll get into that unless I forget. So let's just start. Golden Road, nice, beautiful box set. This is this image here of the Dead, the Skull and Roses, is from a 1966 poster, which is really expensive. In primo condition, I've seen these posters go for over $100,000. But if you're willing to, get it in not so good of condition, you can get it for like 10 or some, or 13. I don't know. Oh, I've done before in the past, showing you posters. I swapped out. Well, I haven't been showing the Woodstock poster lately because I got tired of looking at it on these videos. Then I had the Beatles poster up. This, now you recognize that. That's the first Santana album, but the Dead also are on there. All right, so that is that's a first printing of a Dead poster. So is this one, which you've been able to see bits of, I think, in my videos. That's from 66. Chet Helms, Avalon Ballroom. The Santana one is Bill Graham. And, you can't really see that one, can you? Well, anyways, that Satanic Santa is also from Avalon Ballroom in 66. Anyways, if I walked around and shown you all the Dead posters, that would be a show in and of itself. So let's start. It's 3.5 minutes almost, and I haven't even shown you the first CD yet. So this is a nice little box set. If you're a newbie to the Dead and you just want to get more than just an album or two on CD, I recommend these Rhino box sets. It starts off with this Birth of the Dead. These are all recordings that they did before their first album when they signed with Warner Brothers. It is 2 discs. Oops. Again, I've got the plastic wrap on there. They did a 45. What was it? Stealin'? I don't remember now. Stealin', yeah. And Don't Ease Me in 66. That's on here, plus some live stuff. A nice little intro to what is to come. Their first album is called Grateful Dead. All right, they don't really sound like the Dead on this album. They came down to LA to record this the way that pretty much any San Francisco band did in the 60s before Wally Heider's was fully operational up there in San Francisco. They were on some kind of speed, I think, when they did this album. So the songs almost sound like garage rock. Having said that, it's pretty good. Golden Road to Unlimited Devotion would be like their kind of Nuggets type song of a fast-paced celebration of the Haight-Ashbury. Beat On Down the Line is a cover, but a good one. Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, actually, the Pigpen sang that one. Sonny Boy Williamson number was, that was actually like a hit in the Bay Area on the radio. I don't know if I've ever heard it on the radio down here in Southern California though. Cold Rain and Snow was really good. Sit on Top of the World, they did this before Cream did. It's, you know, the old blues number. Cream Puff War is really good. Morning Dew, that was a standard in the 60s, but they did it before Jeff Beck did. And New Minglewood Blues. And Viola Lee Blues, which is an old Memphis blues number. A good album. It just is not really representative of what the Dead would, of what we associate music to sound like with the Grateful Dead. I like it though. All right. Oh, the mono mix, for some reason, is not on CD. It should be. You guys hear that at Warner Brothers? In '68, Anthem of the Sun. Got the shirt on. This is really a psychedelic effort. It's a cool album because it's a mixture of live stuff that they did in concert with studio material, and it's rather seamlessly interwoven. But I can tell when the live stuff starts and the studio stuff ends or whatever. Great album. This is perhaps their most overtly psychedelic effort, in much the same way that the Jefferson Airplanes After Bathing at Baxter's is their most overtly psych effort. But the Dead were always psychedelic. You know, they never really left the 60s behind. Great record. This, the one you get in the box set though, is not the, is it? No, I think, yeah, this is a 1968 LP mix. For a long time in the early 70s, they remixed the record, and that's all you could get. But when the CDs came out, they went back, thankfully, to the original LP mix. So, great album. 69, we have Oxomoxoa, which this is another really expensive poster. Not as expensive as the Skull and Roses poster, but I'd love to have this one. This is Rick Griffin. He did this. This is almost like Baroque psych. You know, these Dead albums, they don't sound the same. They're at this point in their career in the 60s where every album it just sounds like a different band than the one that made the previous one. It's another really good one though. Almost get the feel that their folky roots are coming through in some of this material. St. Stephen's a classic. Dupree's Diamond Blues, love it. Rosemary's great, doing that. This is all good stuff. Mountain of the Moon, China Cat, Sunflower. What's Become of the Baby? That's a drag. It goes on too long. And then Cosmic Charlie is great. So every track is good, but that one. This, I got this mixed up with Anthem. This one is the one that's not the original LP mix though. With the 50th anniversary of this, which I've got somewhere, I'll show you when I get to it. That's when you finally get the 69 LP mix on CD. Good album. As good as Anthem, probably. They're both really good, and they sound different, even though they're both psychedelic albums. Okay, before 1969 ends, we have Live Dead. This is the one when I was a kid that made me a Deadhead. Now, I had already heard, that's not true. Working Man's Dead made me a Deadhead. But this is what made me fall in love with their live stuff. It was the first live album of theirs ever released. It's the first live album of theirs I ever heard. And now that I'm older and I've heard it a million times, I can be a little more critical of this. It does seem to lose some steam in the second half. The first LP is brilliant. That run of Dark Star into St. Stephen to the 11 is timeless. It's like, that's how we want the Dead to sound live. Then you get to the second LP and it's Turn On Your Love Light, which goes on forever. There are better, it's a great song, it's the Bobby Bland number, but there are better live versions of that the Dead did than the one that they chose for this. Definitely Have No Mercy is pretty cool though. Feedback is just, they love to be esoteric and avant-garde, and stuff like Feedback would later morph into Space, where they would just kind of do these weird ambient and again, avant-garde, I'll use that phrase, music for 10 minutes or more. Usually it would be associated with the drums aspect of the show, but at this early part in their career, they just called it Feedback. And then, And We Bid You Good Night, which is just like a folky type number. So a brilliant first LP, a still pretty good second LP, but I still love the album though. It's one of the seminal live albums of the 60s. Moving on, and we're doing these fast, guys, because I've got way too much to cover. In 1970, I'll just do it at the same time. 2 albums, Working Man's Dead, American Beauty, equally brilliant, both 5-star classics. They're like country rock now. They're still making albums at this point that sound different than the previous year's records. In 69, Oxo did not sound like Live Dead. In 1970, these 2 albums sound alike, but they don't sound like the 69 albums, which didn't sound like the 68 album, which didn't sound like the 67 album, etc. Right? So that's why in minds of many people, the Warner Brothers years were the band's best. I don't know if they were the best live act at this time, but the LPs they made, people talk, the Dead are a band you have to experience live. Well, too late for that. Or you have to hear them live, hear the tapes, hear the releases. I understand that, but I love the albums too. And these were what I listened to, their albums before I only saw them live twice. Once in 87 with Dylan here in LA. I went up from San Diego to see them. And once in 93 in San Diego. So, all the Dead listening I've done in my life has been, these releases, these CD releases. And the tapes I used to have before they came out on CD. But anyways, I'm not even going to mention the songs on here. Jerry wrote these songs with Robert Hunter, who is the lyricist for the band. Bob Weir works with, what was this guy's name? John Barlow? Can't remember. Pigpen is still around, great stuff. And not a whole lot of guitar soloing from Garcia either. In 71, we have, this is the Skull and Roses poster again. This is another double live LP, not as immediate or as earth-shattering as Live Dead, but still damn good. I don't know why they haven't released like a box set chronicling all the shows which gave us this album. Because the songs, again, Bertha, that's another classic. Mama Tried they always had good cover versions. Mama Tried, of course, is the Merle Haggard number. Big Railroad Blues, that's another old Memphis blues song. Playing in the Band is a great, I could talk about that for a second. That's that's okay. I didn't get my Bob Weir solo albums out, but Playing in the Band, that's his song. It's on his Ace album, which I should have brought out. It's also on Mickey's debut album from 72 as well. I think of all those versions though, and I'm going to surprise you, I like this one the best. Later on, Playing in the Band would become a really long number that they would do live with a lot of what I consider kind of aimless jamming, but I like the more concise feel of this version. And they didn't play it like this for very long. Like I said, it became way longer. The other one, an average version of the other one. Me and My Uncle, the John Phillips tune, great. This might be my favorite version of that song too. Big Boss Man, the old Jimmy Reed tune. Me and Bobby McGee, the Christopherson tune, better done by Janis. Johnny B. Good, a few too many covers. Wharf Rat's a brilliant song, and the end, Not Fade Away, going down the road feeling bad is also brilliant. I love this record. Not as good as the two 1970 albums, which I didn't even mention the songs. That's okay. But it's still an essential purchase. All right. Many Deadheads' favorite. Europe 72, this was a triple live album. Triple live album coming out in 72 after their double live album coming out in 71. This is expanded. Again, this is the first time we heard songs on record like He's Gone. One More Saturday Night, I think, was from Ace. Jack Straw, for sure. Brown Eyed Women. Ramble on Rose. Mr. Charlie. Tennessee Jed. A lot of jamming, though, on this. This whole tour, though, they were brilliant, and they released a box set, which I'll show you, of the entire tour. Every concert on that European tour was released. But this is a wonderful highlights of that tour and essential listening if you're a Deadhead. Okay, in 1973, to end the Warner Brothers years, this is a rather mediocre effort. It's History of the Grateful Dead, Volume 1, Bear's Choice. Pigpen had died by then, and so this is kind of like an homage to him. These are from great shows, though. These Fillmore East shows from 1970, which they spotlighted on the Dick's Picks Volume 4 release, which I told you I'm not going to show you any Dick's Picks, but that's essential. You have to have that. These are from the same shows. I don't know why this isn't as exciting as Dick's Picks, but if you get that, the Dick's Picks Volume 4, and you get this, you get a nice little, smattering of stuff that they did in those concerts. I want to say February 13th and 14th, but I could be wrong, 1970. That's another box set that they could release of those shows. They just haven't done it yet. Okay, so that is it for the Warner Brothers years. Cool. I cruised through that quickly. I'm not dawdling. Let's finish up their career somewhat here. Beyond Description. Not as essential, but still, still the Dead, man. You need it all, folks. 73 was a nice, solid album, Wake of the Flood. No reason to show you the back. There's no song titles. They hadn't done a studio album in 3 years when this came out. This certainly doesn't sound like the two 1970 country rock albums. So again, their sound is still morphing from LP to LP, mostly solid stuff. Pigpen was replaced by Keith and Donna Gacho. Keith sings a song on here, which isn't that great. So he didn't have the personality of Pigpen. He's no longer with us. Donna was the backing singer, husband and wife duo. Good, solid record. Excellent songs. Probably just as good. It's from the Mars Hotel. Came out in 74. Another solid work. U.S. Blues. I play that. I blast that every 4th of July. China Doll, Unbroken Chain. That's a Phil Lesh one. Loose Lucy's okay. Scarlet Begonias is great. Pride of Cucamonga is another Phil Lesh tune. He had done Box of Rain on American Beauty. Money is average. Chip Pulse is pretty good. Both of these albums are they may not be classics, but they're solid Dead albums. All right. So, but what I really like is Blues for Allah. To me, this is a classic. Yeah, it's got some songs which you might consider filler. Blues for Allah itself is kind of average, the title song, but I like most everything here. This is I used to have this poster in my room when I was a kid in high school in Stockton. I had the album on cassette, so it was one of the first Dead albums I ever heard. This was the early 80s. In some ways, I want to say they never made an album this consistent again, but that's just my opinion. I'll tell you what's not in the box set, which was weird, is 1976's Steal Your Face. That's where this iconic... this was on... This Lightning Bolt in the Skull, wasn't that on the cover of History of the Dead, Volume 1, Bear's Choice? Anyway, this is an average album. They had stopped touring. In 75, they only did a handful of shows. In 76, they started touring again, so they were a little rusty. I don't even remember if this album is from 76. I know it was released in 76, but I can't remember if this music was from 76. So it's average. All right? It's weird that they would release an album like this when they had so many great shows that they could have given us. But nonetheless. All right, so back to the box set. Terrapin Station. Another really good album. That song, Terrapin Station, is as close to prog as the band would ever get. It's awesome. Estimated Profit's awesome. The rest of the album is just okay. Donna sings a song, which isn't that good, but it's still, if I said that Blues for All was the last really consistent album of that quality, this is probably the last album that I can tell almost anyone to listen to, but not every song. There's filler. There's filler on most Dead albums, but not the two from 1970. All right. 78, Little George from Little Feat produced Shakedown Street. I think it's a good record. I know that there's some people call the title track Disco Dead. I don't care. It's a funky tune. I like it. France goes into Shakedown Street, Serengeti. Fire in the Mountain is classic Dead. I Need a Miracle is pretty good. And the rest of the album is just kind of average. So it kind of goes downhill on side 2, but that's okay. To me, all of these albums are like friends of mine, right? I like them all. And they were great live at this point, 77, 78. All right. 1980, Go to Heaven. I was living in Stockton when this came out. Stockton's in Northern California, not too far from San Francisco. They played these songs on the radio then. Used to hear Alabama Get Away on the radio all the time. Alfie is good. Lost Sailor, Same Circumstance. Decent stuff, but not that great of an album. In the end, I would probably rather hear Shakedown Street. This would be the last studio album that they would make for 7 years. And there was no indication at the time that they were going to take that kind of break. All right? Okay. Moving on to the second batch of CDs in that box. All right. Reckoning. Actually, both these albums came out in 81. All right, you get Dead Set and Reckoning. Reckoning is acoustic. Most people like it a bit better. Dead Set is just another live Dead album, not comprised of one show. It's just okay. Again, Dead Set and Steal Your Face, you wonder why they released these albums, which were just kind of okay when they had much better shows that they could have released. They needed someone telling them these things. They needed better management. But again, I was in Stockton in high school when these came out. There was no indication that the Dead were going to slow down their record releasing pace at that time. But of course they did, because we did not get another album until In the Dark in 1987. This is when I saw them for the first time with Dylan, whom they were touring with. This is a pretty solid record. This is their best album since Terrapin Station, I'm going to say. Of course, it's got Touch of Grey, which was a huge hit. Before, in the 70s growing up, the only Dead songs you heard on the radio were the songs from 1970. Uncle John's Band, or Truckin', or Sugar Magnolia, stuff like that. But Touch of Grey was actually a top 10 hit. It was like an MTV song. The rest of the album's pretty good. Hell in a Bucket, West LA Fadeaway, Throwing Stones. It's solid for a band that hadn't. Now, they didn't whip up all these songs just for this album. They've been doing some of these songs for years by the time they finally made this. Touch of Grey went back years before 87. But this is the last solid record that they would make, guys. I never really liked Built to Last, but this came out in 89. But after hearing the material done live so many times, the songs have grown on me. I now think it's a suitable record. It's just, it doesn't really sound like the Dead because they're not even all playing in the studio at the same time. Some guys will go in and record their parts, other guys will go in later on. It's just, why make a record like that when you're a famous band working as a cohesive whole? Foolish Heart's good. Built to Last, Victim of the Crime. Staying on the Moon, Picasso Moon. Decent stuff, but not the best album to go out on. Okay, and that ends the box. Told myself I wouldn't look, but without a net, should have been in there. It's not. That's okay. I'm gonna start going through all this stuff now, and this is gonna get daunting. So I'm gonna move the Beyond Description box out the way, and I'm just gonna start picking stuff up. We're 25 minutes into this. I'd like to be done by 20 more minutes. Okay, folks, I'm gonna hold up a few discs here, or box sets even, that I have a vague recollection of, because I've just heard too much Live Dead to categorize it all in my mind. This is pretty good though. Nightfall of Diamonds is from '89, I want to say. Yeah, I'd rather hear this than the Built to Last album. All right, same year. I like it. I'm not gonna talk about 100 Year Haul because it's just more stuff from '72. From the Fill Zone is just a collection of songs from different concerts over the years. Some really good stuff though. There's a great version of Hard to Handle, you know, the Otis Redding song that the Black Crowes made famous in the early 90s that Pigpen sings here. I like it, but since it's not a whole show, I rarely play it. I like this. This is Winterland, with the closing of Winterland on December 31st, '78. I like this show. It's good. Four discs. Folks, again, they could really stretch these songs out. All right, it's good. There's a poster of this that you can buy too. I think it looks the exact same as that. Here's something that I bought a long time ago, Roots of the Grateful Dead. This is just songs. You know, the Dead had a vast repertoire of songs that they could cover in concert. And they did everything. They did country songs, they did rock songs, they did blues numbers, they did folk tunes, reggae, you know. I mean, yeah, they were like an encyclopedia of mostly American music. This is one a lot of people like, ladies and gentlemen, the Grateful Dead. Much like Dick's Pigs 4, these are not complete shows. This is from '71, Fillmore East, New York, April of '71. '71 is not a year that's very well documented by the folks who issue this stuff from the vaults. You know, in fact, the 2 years that are the most, some would say, overly documented are '72 and '77. But this is solid work. All right. Looking around, just trying to get things out the way here. Here's the 50th anniversary of Anthem of the Sun. Got that lenticular cover. You know, again, I really like this. This has both the 1968 mix and the '71 remix and live stuff. Just to get both mixes, you need this. Same thing with the 50th anniversary of Oxomoxoa. This is where I first heard. Well, that's not true. This is where the first time that they issued on CD the '69 LP mix. But I had a guy burn me a CDR of a vinyl, you know, LP of the mix before. I like it better than the '71 remix, but I heard that '71 remix for years, decades before I ever had a really good sounding copy of that. Okay, cool. Moving things out the way here. This I really recommend to you guys. This is, let's get the title right. Fillmore West 1969, the complete recordings. It is, I want to say, 4 shows. They used these shows in the making of Live Dead. So if you think that Live Dead is a classic live album and which Deadhead doesn't, you got to have this. It's way out of print, you know, silly money. Maybe you can hear this on Spotify. I don't know. I haven't looked, but this was sold out before the street date. I had pre-ordered this and then they sold out, and I was glad I got it because, you know, the silly internet prices shot up. All right, there's no rhyme or reason, folks, to me grabbing all this stuff. It's all sitting here on my table. This Warlocks, okay. The Warlocks was the name of the Dead before they were the Dead. And in 1989, they did some shows under that name, the Warlocks. This little box set came out. It's really good. This is even better than Nightfall of Diamonds, I think. I don't remember how many shows it is. That's okay. I don't have time to do these unboxing videos. I'm just going to show you guys these little box sets and briefly get them out the way. We're a half hour into this. I do recommend this if you like late 80s Dead. Okay. Here's some more normal looking size C's. I said I wouldn't show you guys the Dick's picks, and I said I wouldn't show you the Dave's picks. The Road Trips series, I have even less road trips than I have Dave's picks. The thing I didn't like about the Road Trip series was that they weren't complete shows. This, I think, more or less is. This came with a bonus disc, too, that I have in there somewhere. I'm not going to open it up. But this is the show, or is it shows, that they used for a lot of the live material for Anthem of the Sun. It's great. It's awesome. Right? I mean, if you like Anthem, you're going to dig this. Again, out of print, guys. The thing about being a Deadhead and buying all this stuff on CD is that you got to pick it up when it's released, because when it goes out of print, you're going to pay stupid money for it. You're going to be kicking yourself. Much of this stuff I bought after it was out of print, so I paid silly money for it. So that's why I'm warning you. But there's no way now, if you're coming into this for the first time, that you cannot pay these prices. So just if you got a friend who can burn this stuff for you, or you can hear it online, stream it for free, just do that. Okay, the Grateful Dead movie is fun to watch. That came out in, I don't remember. That's fun. That's on DVD or is it Blu-ray? This is a whole box set of the concerts, 5 discs that they recorded to make that movie. It's good. I like it. A perfect little addendum to the movie if you have that. All right. This is a show I like, the Cow Palace. Here's a bonus disc of it. This is from '76. New Year's Eve. Again, good show. 3 discs and a bonus one. All right. So, I was looking for Without a Net. Here it is. I don't know why this wasn't in the Beyond Description box set, but this is a live album that they did. It came out in 1990. It's got Marsalis on horn, but I'm going to get, you know what, they're right here. So better than this, better than that is the 2 Spring 1990 boxes. Look at these things. These things are things of beauty. This is Spring 1990. Yes, as late as 1990, the Dead were still a powerful live unit. This is a number of shows. Love that cover with the skull and the Indian headdress. And since I don't do unboxing videos, I can just, show you the front and back. And to further sweeten the pot, they did Spring 1990, the other one. Still hellaciously good shows for a band who had been around since the mid 60s and making records since the late 60s to still be this good in concert. That's a wonderful thing. All right. So 2 box sets of just the Spring 1990 tour. I'm gonna put these on the ground because I'm running out of room here. And I might as well just get this pile over here done. Okay, I could have done a whole show on just this. This is the 30 Trips Around the Sun box. I want to say this came out in 2015. It is a show, 30 years, 1 show for each year. So from whatever, 66 to 95, Is that what it is? Really, really, really cool. I mean, I'm opening up. You can't. Well, hold it up. You know, tons and tons of CDs. Of course, it went out of print, and now it's well over $1,000. But I bought it before it went out of print, and I wish they would do another box of this size. They've only done this and the complete Europe 72 shows, which I'll get to in a second. But not every show on here is truly awesome. Sometimes as I was listening to these, I thought I could have picked a better show from that year. But enough of them are to make it worth your while. And I'm looking at this, which just came out not that long ago, and I can't even remember what it is. So this one I'm going to have to open up. This came out a year or two ago. Oh my God. Open it upside down. Oh, they're all falling out. Oh well. Let me turn it up. Let me turn it around. There we go. Whew. All right. Okay, so just to familiarize myself. Oh, I can see right now what it is. Oh, wow. 81. I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that. Huh. Wow. See, guys, this tells you I've got too much Live Dead. If you'd have asked me before, 82. If you'd have, okay, Madison Square Garden. If you'd have asked me before if they'd done a box set of from the 1980s besides 87 and 89, I just said no. So that's just silly. So clearly I can't even remember this box set, but that's probably Freudian because the Dead in the 80s weren't what they were in the 70s. You can take what would be considered a great 80s show, and it would merely be, I think, this is my opinion now, a pretty good 70s show. All right? So, all right, moving on, because I really don't have time to dawdle here. This came out, I don't remember, like in the 90s, I think. So Many Roads, 65 to 95. It's just an overall box set of a lot of their material over the years. It's not complete shows, of course. Some good stuff on here. I played it, when it came out. But again, guys, as you can imagine, when I buy these things and I listen to it a couple times, I file it away because you know what? There's gonna be another Grateful Dead archival live release coming up soon. So I rarely pull out these old things and continue to play them. This box is the From the Vault series. Now this is worth talking about for a second. From the Vault, this one came out, I think, in the early 90s. This is one of the first Dead purchases I made when I first started to really buy everything. This is a show from 75. It's really good. It's got the complete Blues for Allah album on here. I told you they only did a handful of shows in 75. This is one of them. I like it. This, though, is awesome. Two From the Vault is a show from 68. It was advertised here as a couple of shows, but I think it's lately been found out to be one show. Great stuff from Anthem, and you get the early kind of embryonic versions of the songs that would be on Live Dead. Love this. This is one of my favorite Live Dead albums. And Three From the Vault from 71. Again, 71, not a year. That's a lot. That's really documented. So this is a nice little purchase. You get all three From the Vault albums. I don't know if there's been a volume 4 of From the Vault, to be honest with you. Okay, so it's kind of just grabbing box sets willy-nilly. This All Good Things is a box set of Jerry Garcia's studio stuff. So since Garcia is the main man, let's go through these really quickly. First album, Garcia, 1972. May as well start there. If you're going to own a Jerry Garcia solo record, might as well start here. The Wheel. What else? Sugary, Loser, Deal, Bird Song. All those songs became Dead standards done in concert. This one's also called Garcia. This is cover versions, and some of them aren't bad. You know, I don't know why he's using an older painting or photo of himself here with sans beard, but he didn't look like this. And or maybe he did, because there was a time that he did shave his beard in the 70s. But cover versions, not bad, not essential. What's this one called? Reflections? I love how they don't even put the Reflections. Yeah, I got it right. This is pretty good. 76. These songs didn't really take off, you know, for him. Might As Well is good. I heard the Dead do that. Mission in the Rain, I like. Must Have Been the Roses. That became a Dead standard. So there you are, you know. Some stuff that entered into the Dead's repertoire, but a nice little pleasant album. This one is kind of good, though. Cats Under the Stars. Jerry was quite proud of this, and didn't know, you know, why the songs didn't take off with the fans. Ruben and Charisse, Love in the Afternoon. These are all good. Cats Under the Stars. So it's not a classic, but it's, you know, it's pleasant. It's music you just put on like on a Sunday afternoon and, you know, have a drink, take a hit, whatever, do housework. This one came out in 82, Run for the Roses. It is not as good. I have not played this as much. Interesting though that he was releasing solo stuff in the early in 82 when the Dead weren't even releasing an album that year. So I like it. Then there's another disc of outtakes, jams, and all alternate tracks. So I'm going to put this back in and move on to something else. There's lots of other live, or just not live, but Jerry solo stuff, guys, that I probably should have brought out, but that's okay. You can't do everything. Okay, I'm perplexed about this one too. This is Here Comes Sunshine, and for some reason, much like the Madison Square Garden early 80s box, I don't remember this one either. 73. All right. Dead's still a hellaciously great band in 73. This is May 13th, 20th, and 26th, and June 9th and 10th. It's coming back to me now. Good. A good box set. What I should have done is probably just put all these box sets put them like in order by the year. Like, this is not the only 1973, but it's the biggest box set of 1973. But there's a smaller one that I think I like better than this, which hopefully I will get to in a second. Okay. And wow, I did. There it is. Pretty sure that this is it. There you go. Winterland 73, the complete recordings. Yeah, this is really good. For a while, they were doing little box sets of this size just to document a tour, and they were all good. Here's another one. All right, and God, this is 71. This is Winterland 77. Now, there's a lot of these boxes from 77. Of course, that was the Terrapin Station year, but there's a lot of Deadheads consider 77 to be like their pinnacle in terms of a live act. I don't know if I have a horse in that race. I don't know if there's one year I would hold out as the all-time best. But if you wanted to convince me it was 77, I wouldn't argue with you. This one I like. This one has this Sunshine Daydream comes with a Blu-ray. See, it's CDs, but the Blu-ray is the filmed concert from 72. It's up in Bonita, Oregon. Yeah, 72. It's real good. It's real good. So not only is it a great show to listen to, it's fun to watch them do it. I wish they had more filmed performances of the Dead, right? They had a DVD box, which I didn't buy because it wasn't upgraded to Blu-ray. This was, I think, I want to say 80s performances. I wish they would do that. I wish that they would put it in Blu-ray because I would buy it. Okay, moving on. Wow, I actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. 44 minutes. Yeah, well, this is going to be a long one, isn't it? Okay, I knew that going into it. Rockin' the Cradle, Egypt 78, and this is a bonus disc. They went and they played by the Pyramids in 78. It was, you know, they made a big deal about it. It was heavily publicized. Unfortunately, the shows are just average. I wish that they were better, but there you go. I don't know why I bought this 50th anniversary of the Skull and Roses album, but I did. I bought the 50th anniversary of American Beauty. They must have had shows on there that I was interested in. Okay. Okay. Wow. Look at this. Here's the complete 72 tour box I was telling you about. I should open it up because it's, I don't know, 70 something discs or 80 something discs and a nice little booklet. Every show on this tour is pretty damn good. It's hard to even pick out favorites, you know. So this and 30 Trips Around the Sun are the only two mega 70 or 80 CD box sets that they've done so far. I wish that they would do more. You know, I would pay for them for sure. And this one I got after the fact. So I did not pay $1,000 for this, but I paid hundreds. Now it's worth well over $1,000. So I'm still glad that I got it. Okay. What is this? I think this is some, this is either from 77 or 78. Let's find out. All right, they just come right out like that, huh? All right. This is 77. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is another, I can't even tell you what the title of it is because it's not even on here, is it? Anyways, this is another one of the box sets from 77. This is the second one, I think the second one that I've shown you. They're all pretty good. I don't really have a favorite. They had a uniformity of excellence in 77 that a typical show from that year is great. So if you like a few, you'll probably like a lot of them. Here's another one from 77. And this one, which is called Get Shown the Light, contains, I want to get the date right, it's May 8th? God. Oh, well. It's the Barton Hall show, so whatever the date was, I know it's in early May, which was, I mean, I had a bootleg of that before this came out, and I had heard the show before. I don't know if I consider that the greatest Grateful Dead concert ever. In fact, I'm going to say no, but there are many who do, or there are many who did. It's in here. It's also available in a standalone. You know, just remember that. May something, 6th, 7th, 8th, Barton Hall, 1977. It's the one that a lot of people think of as the best. Not sure I do, but it's fine. It's a strong box set, and there are other really great shows in that box as well. All right, guys, I'm literally down to like the last 5 or 6 of these things. Here's another one kind of in the same shape as the 77 box. This is 78, I want to say. Yep. No, I'm wrong. 76. 76. They weren't quite as good in 76 as they were in 77 and 78. They played a little slower, I think. Again, I think they were a bit sluggish because they hadn't played much in 75. But that's not to say that there aren't some great shows. I told you that that Cow Palace show in New Year's Eve in 76 is wonderful to my ears. This is a pretty good set. I like it. There are better ones, but it's still good. This is the one from 78 I was thinking of. I like this one better. This is actually almost as good as like a great box from 77. As long as I'm showing you this, I might as well show you this. This just came out a month ago, less than a month ago. I'm still listening to it. This is Friend of the Devil. You hear that? It's got like a little shaker in there. I'm halfway through this box set. I'm not impressed. I don't think it's as good as good. What did I just show you? I don't think it's as good as this. So in terms of two 1978 tour boxes, there you go. All right, only got a few more to go, guys. This is a Pacific Northwest box. It's from different tours, different times that they played up there. It's pretty good. It's got, again, beautiful. These dead boxes, some of them have really beautiful artwork. They almost look like conversation pieces you could put on a, in your living room somewhere, and guests would ask about them. I like that one. I like this one too, because if memory serves, there's Blu-ray in here. This is from the late 80s, 87 or 89. Shall we go? Nope, that's not what it's called. Giant Stadium box. Can't think of the title. I don't want to open it up because this video is going on for a long time. This is good though. They were at a high again in the late 80s, just like they were in spring 1990. Playing very well. I think this is another one of those boxes where they just they pick like a location, in this case Giant Stadium, and they give you shows from different years. So but there's a filmed concert here, and it's nice to watch. I wish that there was more of that. And the last thing I'm going to show you, if I can reach it, gosh guys, I have to get up. Is this one. See, aren't these things beautiful? Just cool looking sets. This came out not too long ago. And again, you're probably already guessing. I can't remember what year. Wow, look at that. I can't remember what year this is. But just not going to say here either. 73? Wow. 71, 72. Okay, so this is another box set of a venue or a city or something that they played in various years. Good stuff, even if it's not immediately coming to mind. Okay, I want to wrap this up. Longest video I've done since the Beach Boys. Folks, as long as this video was, it could have been longer. I could have spent more time talking about this stuff. The Dead are a band. I'm a huge fan of Bay Area or San Francisco counterculture, late 60s, early 70s, psychedelic music, country rock, all that stuff. I always felt growing up in the 70s that I kind of missed out, that I was born too late. I should have been born in 1950. That would have been perfect, right, for me. I'd have been 14 years old in 1964 when the Beatles hit. I would have wanted to have lived here in California. This is where I was meant to be. Whether I wanted to have grown up in the Bay Area, well, San Francisco, be precise, or LA is like a touchy thing with me because I love the bands of both cities. I guess ideally I would have liked, again, this is like a total fantasy, right? Like maybe I could have lived, say, in LA or San Francisco, it doesn't really matter. And I could have gone to the other city every summer to stay with an aunt or an uncle or grandparents or whatever. And I could have seen all the bands, over the summer and then gone back to my home base. That would have been perfect. Anyways, guys, this is my second video for a San Francisco band following the airplane. I will do more. I have 12 bands I think are essential Bay Area groups. They're not all from San Francisco. I'm not gonna tell you what they all are now. I'm gonna let you wait. This is the second video of a Bay Area group, or to be precise, a San Francisco group. And it's the Grateful Dead and one of my all-time favorite bands. Hope you had a good time. Adios.